Hello, my name is Lauren. This is the very first time I have gone live on YouTube. So I hope it all goes well, that you can hear me okay. I didn't schedule this or announce it because I want to just make sure all things are working. Welcome to Monastica. I'm so glad you're here. My intention for our time together is to come into silence. Silence is rather difficult in the busyness of our lives, in a world where we are bound to technology. It makes silence and getting still that much more difficult. And the idea of coming into practice, which I will do each week for us live, is to begin to cultivate this inner silence, an inner stillness that we can actually carry with us into our activities of the day. So, our formal practice here is something that helps to build the muscle of that silence and interior stillness as we go about our busy days. Maybe you're a mom and you've got laundry and dishes and um, car rides to pick kids up to go from here to there. Maybe you're a busy businesswoman and you just need like 5 minutes to center, to come back to the heart, to rest the mind, and to find a place where we can also reorient to God. And so for today's purposes, we'll just invite us into a short period of silence. I might do maybe 3 minutes, maybe five, because we're all going to be coming from a different place of practice. And even long time practitioners can even find it challenging because of the demands that we have on our lives and our attention. And in this day and age, we have access to so much. And there's this overwhelming tendency and need to do all things, to be part of all things, to not miss out on opportunities. And when we build this muscle of stillness and silence and reorient ourselves to God, my hope is that we will be able to be in better discernment around how we choose to spend our time and to learn how to maybe say no or let go of some of the things that we might like to do. But we know that if we do them, we're overstretching ourselves. And that's when the fatigue and the burnout start to show up. And that's when we lose our ability to be present to the things and people we love in life. So, before we come into silence, I want to share with you just a little bit about purity of the heart. This is a teaching that comes from the Desert Mothers and one that I'll go into a deeper dive in Monastica. But for today, I want to just kind of bring a gentle awareness to it as we move into silence. Because purity of the heart is really what does cultivate from our practice when we abide with God, when we abide with that divine, loving presence, that benevolent God. Purity of heart might sound a little bit like, oh, I'm asking for perfection, or I'm asking, for there to be this expectation, this piety almost, or this piety. And I would say rather, let's look at purity of the heart as an emptying in order to bring greater clarity so that we are allowing ourselves to be present for God. Purity of heart is what allows us to really inhabit the depth and breadth of God, God being everywhere and always there when we choose to receive the invitation. And so I liken purity of the heart to spiritual neutrality. And that doesn't mean that we're being aloof or that we don't matter about important issues of justice and compassion and cultivating love. What it does mean is that when we can be in spiritual neutrality because of the heart's presence that's abiding in God, we're able to step back in that silence, in that witnessing, and we can hold space for all things. And from that neutrality, we can choose to act with intention if we feel called. And so it's really this foundational place from which we move from. And it's an important thing to cultivate, in my opinion, especially in times where we see a lot of even spiritual mentorships or leadership being reactionary. And when we live from reaction, that impulsivity, oftentimes we cause harm, even as much as we are trying to do good. So there's these nuances and these fine edges that we can refine through the purity of the heart, which begins in silence. So let's begin. We're going to sit for maybe a couple minutes. And at the end of our silence, I'm going to ring this bell, just so you know. And for our practice today, because it's so short and we're all coming from different spaces, what I'm going to invite you to do is simply notice the breath. And we can notice the breath coming into the heart. And as we exhale, imagine the heart softening. We might imagine the breath sort of being like a balm of water that refines the coarseness of a stone. I have like a little crystal here. And, when the stone gets refined, it gets smooth, it softens. And we can use the breath, which is really the spirit within us, to allow this softening of the heart, which supports our silence and stillness. So I invite you to close the eyes down. Feel the earth beneath you. With the first deep breath in, inviting yourself to be available for the presence of God to be revealed. With the exhale, just allow any tension in the body to soften, relax, and receive gravity. Take as many deeper breaths in as you need before you allow the body to just rest simply as it is. Allowing yourself to be exactly as you are. Resting back into the silence. When you notice the mind starting to wander, simply invite yourself to bring awareness back into the heart. The cave of the heart is where you commune and reside with God. It's a secret place within you. I'm going to invite you to listen to the sound of this bell all the way to the end. And then you can gradually open your eyes and always just take a moment to kind of integrate. Notice the physical body. How do you feel now? Allow yourself to take in the external environment. And then hopefully moving forward with your day with a little more alignment with the divine, with the heart of compassion, grace, and joy.